All right, can I have a motion to open the public meeting of the Holyoke Planning Board for Tuesday, February 11th?
So moved.
And a second?
I'll do second.
Excellent.
Roll call vote for Kate,
Yes.
Mimi,
Yes.
Rosanna,
Yes, ma'am.
Gurinder,
Yes.
and Lauren.
Yes.
We have Jane here. Jane, are you here with us to the bitter end?
I am now, yes.
Because we could do executive session at the end and then just leave from the executive session. Or we can
Either
pick
one.
things
I'm
in the
here now.
order that they're in.
Whatever works easiest for you guys.
Okay. Let's just plow through in the order it's in then, because it's too late for me to try to think on my feet. I'm gonna just go in order. Correct me if I'm wrong, there is only one thing on of our site plan reviews and zone changes that we're actually voting on today and dealing with. I believe that's just the sign size for Whiting Farms Laundromat. Am I missing anything?
No, I
Nope.
believe that's it.
Okay, let's take that one up.
So in the drive, you'll see that there's a draft.
Yep. Voting.
So in general,
Okay, those.
it's basically the same, we borrowed from a previous approval. Well, of course, I've got school right there because obviously we borrowed from the school. So I need to remove that from that draft, or we can remove it right now. You'll
Wait,
see
where is it?
number-
Oh,
number
yeah.
one, it was a miss.
Business.
Yep.
I mean, this seems totally fine with me unless anyone wants to add anything.
Sounds good.
All right, does somebody want to move to approve this?
I'll make that motion to approve the sign for Whiting Farm Laundromat.
Give a second.
Second. Sorry.
Roll call vote for
Let's-
Kate,
Yes.
Mimi,
Yes.
Rosanna,
Yes, ma'am.
Gurinder,
Yes.
and Lauren.
Yep.
And we'll make sure that the proper address is in on that application, or rather the decision as well.
Yes.
I think it used to be a old rent center where the laundromat is going.
All right, before we do the executive session, just as a business matter, Jeff, do you want to introduce our new staff person?
Sure. So currently in the Zoom room is Parker O'Brien. She began last Monday, and this is the beginning of her second week. That's all I've got. Welcome aboard. Thank you for attending this
Go,
evening.
Parker. Welcome.
Hello, thank you.
So
So
happy
excited to be
have
here.
you.
So
Yeah,
what's the position? Just a staff member?
Check you, Gunender. That's her position.
We
Just
now have
kidding.
two
It's cold.
planner
It's cold.
ones.
It's cold and it's snowing. My brain is freeze.
Parker, we're
Welcome.
thrilled to have you.
Yes,
Thank
we
you. I'm
are.
excited to be here.
Yay.
So,
And that you have trial by fire with this nice long agenda.
Yeah, and just before we do executive session, since the idea is to do it last, I think we need to skip ahead to project updates, old business, new business.
Do you want to take over, Mimi? I can finish eating my dinner.
I can try.
Tag me in if you need me.
Um, so, yeah, Babala Road, the solar project. I admit that I've kind of lost track of exactly where we are with this. I know that the applicant wanted to release all of the bonds. And I know that we said, no, you can replace the bond for the decommissioning bond, and we want to discuss the landscape. But we are okay with releasing the third one, which is stormwater authorities and not ours, really. But I don't know where that stands, and I don't know whether we have had a chance to really go over the language of any of these releases. Back earlier, it looked like the replacement bonds were technically fine. They were just replacements for the old ones with a new issuer.
so I had spoke to Peter Brown, and I basically told him just what you had just stated. And he had sent me a draft of what he would like the sign off to look like. And then I did forward that to the law department and wasn't sure if Jane had an opportunity to look at that in any further detail.
The bond letters?
I remember the other day you and I were going back and forth, and I forwarded to you what Peter wanted me to sign, and then I responded. You asked me if, let me see. You asked me if, well, I forwarded you the draft that he wanted me to sign because I don't think I'm the one to sign it anyways. I don't know who that signer actually is. But it was like a release form. And then you and
Right,
I went back and forth on it a bit.
right, about the, if the engineer was gonna review them or not.
So your statement was, did the engineer at the time require the bonds? And I said, perhaps within their own approvals, which at that time, this dates back a long time ago, and this was probably Matt Sokop originally, way back when.
Right.
And then I said, well, planning required the decommissioning and planting per ordinance, and the stormwater was for the CE. And then I provided you 2 sections of the ordinance related to abandonment decommissioning. And then I also
Right.
said to you what he was asking someone on the city side to sign off on, because I didn't really think that document, well, for one, was for me to sign, but was that
Right.
appropriate? I don't know.
So just completely speculating here. My speculation is that the planning board, when we reach a point where we're willing to sign off on those two, go ahead and replace those bonds. We just need advice saying, yes, we can vote to have whoever is in authority in the city sign off on them. And if whoever is in the city is us, we can do it. But this is just an annoying technical thing. I mean, we know that what we want is to keep the decommissioning bond in place. And we know that we want them to look at that landscaping.
Right, which
I
I also,
thought this letter was just, sorry, I thought this letter was just saying that it was it was saying that they were changing the surety so that the bonds were just being substituted, so they were asking for a release of the previous bond or surety versus having someone new.
Okay,
well, within his letter though dated, well, at this point it's dated September 24th, that it does say the town of Holyoke hereby confirms that the bonds issued by Philadelphia and Westfield is no longer required, and that the city of Holyoke has released the sureties of all liability pertaining to the bonds, past, present, and future. So that's what I was sketchy about.
So the letter itself doesn't refer to the fact that they've replaced them.
No, it just, because actually the RE on, as drafted by Peter, because he provided
Yeah.
this for city signature, you know, the RE was encroachment performance bond dated August 22nd, 2016 for the Holyoke Stormwater Authority on behalf of RS Holyoke, and permit bond 840814, City of Holyoke on behalf of RS1 Holyoke LLC, the bonds. And so I said I
And
was
there
just,
may be a separate letter saying.
Well, yeah, it looks like the first letter seems to contemplate that something else was included. It said, request that you accept the enclosed right-of-way performance and completion job, single continuous, some numbers, effective July 29th, 2024, issued by Arch Insurance Company, and release the other bonds. So
Yeah,
there
as
there
long
should
as
have been
we-
something else included.
that's all he gave me.
Well, then maybe get back to him and ask for the actual new bonds, and then we can talk about signing the release.
Well, I think he gave us the new bonds way back when he first submitted, and this would have
Well,
been,
Yeah, we
uh,
just have to pull those letters out. You know, I don't know that I saw a final letter, but I certainly saw a letter or a set of letters that I construed as, here are the new bonds, or here are the bonds that we will take out to replace them as soon as you let us release the other ones.
right, I believe that at one of our meetings, and it might have been January, it could have been December at this point, he had given me all the bonds that evening and I forwarded them at that point.
Yeah.
It would have been December 10th.
Yeah, so let's just see if we can find that paperwork, because I'm sure we already told him that, yes, we would be okay with replacing any bonds that we were not willing to release. We may not need to sign anything. He may have just done it.
Okay.
Sorry, I was still muted. Ultimately, though, we do want to be able to sign off so that he can get rid of the bonds that we don't need anymore.
Yeah,
And the question, the open question to me is whether we are ready to release the planting bond, since there's some question about whether.
Well, I did tell him I did mention that to him in our phone call, and I stated that, can he prove to us that there are 48 plantings there, or, and that was one thing he was gonna have his groundskeeper look into.
Okay.
okay. Well, why don't we check back with him on whether he's done that and ask, say, in the meantime, have you replaced them, or are you going to replace them the instant that we tell you that it's okay?
Right.
So if that's that, how about the exciting updates with 28 Water Street? Where I understand they may not have to do a subdivision plan after all.
Well, I know that. So in conversation, I mean, Jane, the attorney Mantaleski asked that this.
You can call me Jane. Don't worry about it.
Well, I thought for the formal record, Attorney Mantaleski asked that this be put on the agenda for this evening. I don't know if it was she or someone else told me that they maybe have purchased 111 Mosier Street, and I don't know if that has any impact. So they might be buying the property to the south, and I'm not sure if in any way that impacts this at all. But I was adding this to the agenda because you had asked that to go on last meeting.
Right, did we end up giving them any sort of notice that we were going to be talking about it?
Oh, this is just a meeting topic.
No, I understand that, but I wasn't sure if they were going to be present
I don't know.
So-
I mean, I'm gonna say I probably did not, or that was an oversight on my part because I thought this is a meeting, so they wouldn't really
No,
have any
that's
input
fine.
anyways.
Yeah, so we're at the point where from my review, there's still the plan that they submitted or they submitted for our internal review. I don't think it really still shows any sort of access to a public way, right? Or how they would get access to their property from a public way.
Right.
So I had asked them if they could please review, because I tried and I just don't have the time to go through all the plans in the registry to see if there was anything on a plan that might have been filed with the land court that referenced Water Street in this portion. And if there was, then I could, we could exempt them from the requirement of the subdivision plan, but they haven't gotten back to me. I haven't seen anything. And I really kind of just wanted to get this back on the agenda so that we could try to move this forward and get this resolved for them. But if they're now purchasing another property, that wasn't me, Jeff, that's news to me.
Okay.
So if they're purchasing that property, then that may affect their issue, right? That may help their
Well,
issue.
it
So
could, because at this point, I still think there's an issue of where Water Street is. But I know, but because Westmont, which owns 111 Mosier, I mean, they do have a driveway that links up to the Genie properties to the south. But I guess it's no more delineated than it is on their own property, but that might actually resolve some of the encumbrance issues that, them building over the property line and that kind of thing. But I didn't know if you had heard, or I forgot who told me that they might be purchasing the property to the south, which could equal something, but I don't know what that is. So,
So, okay, we don't actually need to bring this up tonight because this is completely in flux, is what I'm hearing.
I guess so, yeah. I guess I was hoping for some kind of a ringer here and I'm not hearing it, so.
that's okay, but it still like kind of gets it back on the radar and
Sure.
reminds us that we need to get this moving. So
Do you want to keep it on the agenda or notice them with anything, or how do you want to play this?
I would like to know more about Mosier Street. I'd like to know if there was a plan recorded in the land court. It might just be by way of an invitation, right? It's not a public hearing. It's just an invitation to kind of have them come in and give us an update as to what's going on, right?
Yeah, well, I think it would be interesting for all of us if they did that. So yeah, is it the sense of the board that we should issue that invitation and try to get them in here? Maybe we'd even find out about some property transfers?
I'll say yes.
I see why not.
Okay, let's figure out when to invite them for and get it on the agenda.
Well, I mean, at this point, I'm assuming it's gonna have to be either the 11th or the 25th.
25th.
And knowing that we've got, so we're kind of so close to the meeting agenda schedule, if I could
Yeah.
just kind of go right into that. So, currently, or rather now, we've got on the 25th, tiny homes to discuss, signs at Superfresh, which I've given Gabriel everything, but have not heard anything back from regarding, the former Save-A-Lot. We've got the citizen sign, simple amendment and signage at the Colvest property, Lynch Colvest. We've got the site plan review special permit for New Leaf EV at 245 Whiting Farms Road at just about the location where the former, it would have been the parking for the second hotel at the Holyoke Hotel site. We've got the site plan review amendment for the ATM signs at 7 to 4. Basically, it's the Barnes Noble Plaza. They're changing out their signs at the ATM, which then triggers them. They've already submitted the plans. It's just refacing of a sign. They're probably not even going to appear. It's just pretty much just a simple amendment due to the fact they're changing their signs. They're not even changing the square footage. It's pretty much a 1-for-1. Then we've got the solely best discussion and notice of decision. We also have the solely amendment, technically, because it's an amendment to a site plan as well as the best itself. So there's actually two decisions there. Then we've got the parking reduction and amendment for Tesla. And then we've got the two zone changes for Tiago's zone D, the BL to DR. So we've got those on the 25th. On March 11th, currently, we've got the American Environmental continued times its special permits, the site plan review and special permits. Actually, I've got solely best here too. Did we? No, we continued the solely best to March 11th. So my bad. I said that on the previous one. Let me get rid of that solely best. Sorry about that. That's gone off of that one. So, but the Tesla was February 25th. Then, so we've got the solely best times 2. We've got the short-term rentals final, and we've got the American Environmental times 3. For what it's worth, on March 25th, tentatively, we might have Victory Theater coming back. But there seems to be a problem that, and I just found out further about this a little bit today. I did receive a call from Don Sanders, and this is, I'm not going to a public hearing, I'm just basically touching upon an agenda item. And Don says he's ready to move forward. The only issue is that he's basing his moving forward on, I'm going to argue hearsay to a degree, from the fire department, and that they said it's okay. But the issue with that is just because the fire department said it is okay, doesn't mean that the city engineer is for moving this forward or approving of that, because there's still a lot of issues if we close off a portion of an alley that, historically, and this even predates my history, that, you're not allowed to encumber an alley. So I keep stressing to Don to say, you've got to prove something better than this. Otherwise, you can't do it. So I know he was going to reach out to Matt Sokop, city engineer, but I don't know if they've connected yet. But he thinks he might be submitting for March 25th.
Well, by all means. And is he submitting it for an amendment, or is he submitting for a new site plan? Because
Brand new site plan.
okay, because I mean, he would have to anyway, because that would be a significant amendment to the old one.
Right.
I just, I looked at the various extensions for approved plans that the legislature and governor had promulgated over the past 5 years.
Yeah.
And I tried to figure out the headline or the timeline, and my brain exploded. It's like, okay, if you interpret it this way, they've lost the old site plan. If you interpret it this way, it still is in force. And
right, the way at least I'm looking at it is that, that they were originally given 3 years to begin with under a preconceived idea from a previous city solicitor. And, I think it's pretty much dead in the water. They know they're coming back.
yeah.
It's outside of that timeline, so.
And as I say, if they want to close off that alley, it would be a major revision anyway, and they would have to be in a public hearing again. So.
Right, exactly. So I know that Matt was gonna, outside of that call, I kind of pre-warned him or of that, and it's warning, not just letting him know. And I know that he was gonna start looking at the plans, but I think even if he believes there's a sewer line there, but regardless, it would be so huge if if we were to go against the idea of keeping it open and unobstructed as it's been preached or followed for all these years. So I guess we'll see what Matt comes up with, assuming that Don reaches out to him. Otherwise, we could have a site plan review. Because I mean, if they do submit within the deadlines, I mean, we could hear them on the 25th. And assuming that, I guess at that point, if it was to be there, it could become a question. So, anyway,
Okay.
there's that.
Good to know.
Yep.
And I see at the bottom of this agenda, a site plan review amendment for a Dunkin' that has not previously come before us, at least in my time. 1600 Northampton Street.
Where's that?
It is
I'm
on
like, where are you seeing that at?
the city version of this.
Oh, really?
Project updates, old business, new business. Bobala Road, B, site plan review for ESG. C, site
was
plan
the-
review Dunkin'.
Yeah, that was the other agenda you had me put up.
Oh, okay.
Remember you had me add that number C, or letter C.
Oh, I didn't see that
Yeah,
at
I'm
all.
totally spacing it, to be honest. I have no idea what it's about. And
I'm tired.
I don't see it on my copy. So what was the line again? Oh, I
It
might get
says,
tired.
site plan review amendment,
Yeah.
Duncan, 1600.
Oh, that's right. That's why Jim Carlin's here.
Yes,
Oh, yes, that's right. So, right, he's gonna, so I guess we can throw it to Jim Carlin. There's gonna, the amendment is that they're replacing the sign faces. And fortunately, Jim is here to explain that. My apologies. I told you, my copy doesn't include that, but yes, that is 100% correct.
that's all right. Can you guys hear me?
Yes,
Mhm.
welcome.
Well, I'm Molly Carlin tonight because she's got the better computer. They're going for a site plan amendment to change their signs at Dunkin' Donuts. They want to change the face in their pylon sign, so it'll be the same square footage, 37 square footage to 37 square footage. They just got a new logo.
Jim, are you
Yep.
and Molly in the same room by chance?
No, but I can shut off my phone. How's that sound?
Something's happened.
How's that?
That's better.
Yes.
I just want to double because, oh, can you still hear that?
Yeah. Can
Oh,
hear you.
boy. Is that better?
Yes.
All right. I want to double because in Hadley I got kicked off and like I was confused. So 1600 Dunkin' Donuts, they're doing a little remodel and they're changing their logo and they want to change the faces in their pylon sign and also change the building sign. The building sign used to be 34 square feet, and now they're gonna go down to a 22 square foot sign that just says Dunkin'.
Do we have any visuals or no? Please.
I can try to share those. Let's see. Split screen. How do I share those photos? Where's Zoom? Can you see that?
Yes.
So that's the pylon sign.
And it's the same sign for the building?
The building. We're gonna get the other one up here. Which one?
Oh, I'm sorry.
How do I rotate that?
Hold on.
I think
We
we're,
can put that
if we all
sideways.
just move our heads, we can probably make it.
I was just
I would
gonna
have to
say, it's
go-
not that complicated. We'll be
Okay.
fine.
So basically, nothing's increasing in size. You're just changing out the facades or fascias
Yep.
for this new logo or new branding.
Yes.
Okay.
So, seems very straightforward. Does anyone have any questions about it? I see no hands. I hear no voices. Any member of the public have any questions or comments to make? So this is not a public hearing. This seems completely uncontroversial. Yes, I can talk. So can we just vote to approve this?
Yeah, the simple amendment.
Is there a motion to approve?
I move that we approve.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Roll call vote for Kate,
Yes.
Mimi,
Yes.
Rosanna,
Yes, ma'am.
Gurinder,
Yes.
and Lauren.
Yes.
Okay, that was short and sweet. Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
We look forward to the remodeling.
You guys are troopers for doing these long meetings like this.
Oh, thank you for saying that.
This one seems like it's going to be kind of short.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
this- Yeah,
I was
this one
just
is
gonna say, you
actually
caught us on a
very
short
late.
meeting, my friend.
I might stick around just for that last part, if you don't mind. I'll mute myself.
Well, the last, is there a last part before we go into executive session?
There's
I just
comp
had a
plan
few-
update.
Yeah, and there's a couple other things, add-ons too.
Oh, okay, great. Go for it.
So does anyone have any comp plan updates?
Well, they got us, the consultants got us, suggested zoning review draft. And I haven't even had time to look at it myself, but then they're coming to talk to us February 25th. My sense is we on the team are going to talk with them about it on Thursday.
Yep.
So I think after Thursday, my suggestion will be after we talk about it on Thursday, as long as there are no major changes to be made from our conversation, we'll just forward that document on to you so you can look at it before they come in and talk to us on the 25th. And then you can give all of your input to it as well. But they have a bunch of ideas about zoning changes we could do, and I'm excited to read it. So that's my update.
Thank you for that update. I saw the email come through and I too was too busy to even look through it. So I'm glad for the reminder that we're going to have to talk about it in 2 days.
Mm.
Unless, Lauren, you want to go there and talk about it instead.
Nope.
Oh, well, worth a try.
So just a couple other things. I caught Aaron today as he was walking down the hall, and he told me that, or no, rather yesterday, he told me that the mayor perhaps, and he can provide more information, but it sounds like perhaps the mayor's office really wants to start pushing tiny homes, or small homes as I think they're being called now, and is willing to put up money against hiring a consultant to help get that done.
Whoa. So this is actually an application that's in CPA that we're voting on tomorrow night.
Oh, no kidding.
Yes.
Okay. Well,
And-
that wasn't told to me in that fashion, so.
Yeah. So Mike Moriarty put in a proposal to do a tiny home research for for Holyoke. He also put in two other applications for CPA for tiny homes that are going to house one family each.
Okay.
I have my feelings on what that, like how that should go, but I would be curious to hear, since I am the planning board CPA representative,
That's very interesting.
to
Okay.
hear what everybody has to say about that.
So I was struck by our last zoning meeting with the consultant for the comprehensive plan, where, I'm sorry, the aphasia's kicking in, I'm going to completely blank on her name. She is we see her all the time. Sarah, maybe?
Sarah Meyer Zimbler?
Yes, thank you.
Yep.
She mentioned in the course of the meeting that they are finding that although there is a huge demand for most of the housing they do, they can't get anyone interested in the tiny homes.
Yeah.
And that, it is not as though she has any dog in this fight, but I think that's an interesting and perhaps important data point to take in before we start dumping resources into how many tiny homes can we get in Holyoke and how.
Well, when the proposal was brought up to fund this research and consulting regarding tiny homes in the development of tiny homes in Holyoke, my initial response in the CPA board was, wow, there's a lot going on this with ADUs and tiny homes
Yeah,
throughout the comprehensive plan. I don't know that this is the year to fund that project, because I think we're figuring out a lot in our city about how we want to move forward with that. And that information should be readily available to whoever is doing the research around this home. So maybe this is something for 2026 to have a discussion on, not 2025. That was what my initial thought was for that.
yeah, and Rosanna, you were about to speak up before I jumped in and started pontificating.
I just think this is turning into a monopoly for certain people who have certain interests. I agree with Laura. I don't think this is a well thought out plan. This is a new baby. And I think we need a little bit more research before we just start putting families into places that we really have no set rule or regulations.
Yep, makes
So-
sense to me.
I think Aaron may be willing to come in on the 25th and have a discussion about that if you all would like him to do so.
On March 25th, because February 25th,
Oh,
we
sorry.
leaving at midnight.
Yeah, yeah, it would have been February 25th. So at that point, if you want, I can try kicking it to March 11th, where there might be some
Okay.
better time.
Okay. That
But
makes sense.
again, this might be, if they're voting on it sooner, this could actually, if in fact, you know, it is, well, to Lauren's point, is you say tomorrow night it's being discussed?
Yeah, we're having the funding discussion. So if anybody wants to come to a CPA meeting tomorrow and see how the tax dollars are being allocated.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure that it was Jennifer who put up on social media, a last call. Here is our Google document. Please, Holyoakers, come rank these projects for tomorrow night. So if anybody wants to fill that out, it still is available.
Okay.
Yeah, there are three requests from One Holyoke, and they all surround tiny homes.
Yeah,
And one of them is the tiny home that they're connecting with the deck. They need money to make that happen. Yeah.
well, I have my opinions as a citizen, but also,
There's some really great projects that came to CPA as well. So
yes,
excited for some good things to happen in the city.
yeah, me too. It looked like there were some really very cool things, plus just deferred maintenance that desperately needs to be done from somewhere.
Yes, and if anybody has a chance to review them and you want me to, as the planning board representative from CPA tomorrow, to voice like the board's opinions, please shoot me an email. I would love to have more ammo to what I'm saying.
Lauren?
What time is this at tomorrow?
6 p.m.
I can't come to the meeting, but where's the survey we can look at? Is it just on the CPA?
Yeah, it was sent to me directly to fill out. So I don't know what Mimi was referring to, but I can share what was sent to me.
Yeah,
I would love to see
may
it.
be able to find the link because I was looking at it. Yeah, let me try to shoot that to you.
Okay.
I was looking at it this morning and then I ran out of time. So I will probably finish figuring it out tonight. Okay, see if I can get that into chat. If not, I will just email it.
Yeah, thank you.
So just a couple other items, and I'll be super brief. Also, I know that Florence Savings Bank is currently gearing up for a submission for a new bank at the corner of Hamden and Northampton, where the ATM is in the parking lot. They're going to be putting an office there. So we'll anticipate that in the next few weeks. We're also gearing up in cooperation with with Conscom taking the lead, working on the Parks and Open Space Plan. That's coming up again. And this might be a question for Jane, and hope I think she's still on. Maybe not.
Well, I'm sure she's still on. We still have to do executive session after
Oh,
that.
that's true, that's true. So a question came up of an ADU. And I know that we all attended those workshops or those meetings several weeks ago now. But what if you have a pre-existing, non-conforming two-family, perhaps even three-family, in a single-family zone? Can an ADU be built on that property, or can it be, or is that other additional unit that's already non-conforming just become conforming at that point?
I'm
And
not
maybe this isn't-
sure. I think we need to talk about that more a little bit.
Okay. No, because I got a call today from someone, or an email rather, that they currently live in an R1 in a pre-existing non-conforming two-family, but they want to add an ADU to their property. And so I don't, I mean, they could also seek legal advice as well, but I was just thinking for our purposes in the future, what does that look like? Or can that happen? So something to think about.
Okay, yeah, let's have a chat about that.
Okay.
Just to jump in on a related topic, the Citizen Planner Training Collaborative is having their annual meeting on March 15th. It's a Saturday in Worcester. And they always, so, you can take their online courses, but the nice thing about going to the training is it's like you can do 3 courses in a day and actually do them in person if you like doing that sort of thing. And I know that at least one of the modules that's offered is all about this new ADU law. I've always found it interesting to go to them. So I'll find the link and put it in the chat.
Great.
And then just one more last thing. Have it be known that we did invite our newly appointed associate member, but we have not heard anything back whether or not he'll be attending this evening. So, and I can only assume at this point he's not, but he was invited. So just throw it out there that we do have a newly appointed associate member, Paul Gallagher. And that's that. That's all I've got.
Okay, so I'm assuming since I didn't see any minutes that probably there aren't any, although again, I have my issues with Google Drive, so I don't rule out the possibility entirely.
Brianna, I'm kind of speaking for her, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
She's got a lot done, a super lot done. It just came down to timing as far as getting them on the agenda for that review. I also have 3 more sets here that I've been looking at from Sharon. She's currently doing minutes from Florida.
I don't like text.
She does have, like I said, a real lot done, and those will make it to the next agenda.
Sounds great. I don't mean to nag at anyone. I just, they're on the agenda. I read off the agenda.
Yep.
And with that, I think we are at the end, and I would entertain a motion to enter into executive session to discuss topics related to the litigation over that Duncan proposal for the log cabin site. And at this time, everybody who is not supposed to be here, or like a member of city staff or a member of the board, we are going to have to say goodnight to you for the time being. And since we are through with our agenda, I think we will be adjourning the instant that we are finished with it.
I think, Brianna, can you just send that message to the Carlins because they're already in the waiting room,
Oh, yes. Oh, sorry. Hold on a second.
just to let them know not to wait around.
Yeah, I
Oops.
don't know whether we have to exit before we adjourn, but one way or the other, this should be the last thing on the agenda. So motion to enter into executive session,
So moved.
Second.
all in favor?
Roll call vote for Kate,
Yes.
Mimi,
Yes.
Rosanna,
Yes, ma'am.
Gurinder,
Yes.
and Lauren.
Yes.
Hold on one second.